Hello everyone. First of all, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Fransiskus Biliam Andrea. My student number ID is P1024 2010-12. I am from International Management Class Batch 2020, and right now I'm going to give the summaries of Chapter 5, which is Human Resource Planning and Retention, on Tuesday, 15th of February. Discussion. Okay. March. Okay, now first of all, the beginning of my summary is about human resource planning. So, human resource planning is the process of analyzing and identifying the needs for and availability of human resource so that the organization can meet its objective. And then, how do I plan my human resource in my company if I have my company? So here's the step that I will take in order to plan my human resource. The first one is I will analyze the objective of the plan. The second is inventory common human resource data. The third is forecasting the demand. The fourth is estimate the gaps. The fifth is formulate the plan. The sixth is implement the plan. And the last is monitor, control, and asking feedback from others. Okay. Now I will explain about HR planning process. The process begins with considering the organizational strategic planning objective. Then, the possible available workforce must be evaluated by identifying both of external and internal workforce. Once those assessments are complete, forecasts must be developed to identify both the demand for and supply of human resource. Management then formulate HR staffing plans and action to address imbalances, both short-term and long-term. One means of developing and measuring HR planning is use of a team of subject matters expert or SMEs to increase the validity and reliability of the HR planning result. Okay, now I will talk about retention. So what is retention and why is it important? Employees retention is an effort by a company to be able to keep its employee in the organization that aims to be able to help achieve the organizational target to the maximum performance. Then, why is it important? The first one, hiring new employees is not easy for HR. The second, employees needs company knowledge. And the last one is employee loyalty needs to be built since they are accepted as a new employee. Okay, now I will explain about how I access the external workforce and how I access the internal workforce. For the external workforce, there are several common factors that need to be considered. The first one is economic and governmental factors. The second is competitive and evaluation. The third is changing workforce consideration. Then for the internal workforce, there are several common factors also. The first one is current and future job audit, and the second is employees and organizational capabilities inventory. Okay, next I will tell you how do I forecast my HR demand and supply. I will use several techniques. The first technique I will use is managerial judgment. These techniques involve two types of approach, which is bottom-up approach and top-down approach. The second technique is work studies technique. The demand of human resource on this technique is forecast on the basis of estimated total production and contribute of each employee in producing each unit items. The third technique is ratio trend analysis. So, in this analysis, demand for manpower or human resource is estimated on the basis of ratio of production level and number of workers available. The last technique is called as Delphi model. In these techniques, the human resource experts play important role. They collect the manpower needs, summarize the various response and prepare a report. Then this process is continued until all the experts agree on estimated human resource requirement. Okay, next I will tell you how do I estimate my internal labor supply. I will use two techniques. The first one is succession analysis. This analysis used to forecast internal supply forecasting that can be estimated based on following: current staffing level, projected outflow this year, and projected inflow this year. The second technique is called as Markov analysis. So Markov analysis is transition probability matrix which developed to determine the probabilities of job incumbents remaining in their jobs for the forecasting period using mathematical or qualitative data. Okay, then the next thing that I will talk is about the text that we read from the book of HRM that already given by Mr. Adi. Okay, so read the HR headline on page 145. What lesson can I get from reading this HR headline, and how important is the HR headline to me in the future? So the lesson I can take from reading this headline is the importance of human resource planning that consider external and internal workforce factor to optimize human resource and forecast to plan company action in future. HR, in my opinion, play a very important role in this future of the company because HR is responsible for organizing and managing human resource to optimize the use of human resource from the company. And then there is the second text on page 147. The question is, what lesson can I get from reading the HR best practice, and how important is the HR practice to me in the future? Okay, lesson that I can get from this text is HR planning can help meet future workforce supply and demand in terms of employees. And yeah, that's important because HR planning can help me to meet my future workforce supply and demand, so I can plan it since right now before I have the company, so I can plan it further more. I can plan it for the future as soon as possible. Okay, so what can I get from reading this chapter? Okay, in this chapter I learned about a lot of things, especially about what is human resource planning and how do I plan this resource planning for my company in the future. And I also learned about the planning process of HR. I also learned about retention, which is important in order to achieve company goals and keep the employees to restrain in the company and not going out or something like that. And then I also learned about how important is the retention. Okay, and also I learned about how to access the external workforce and internal workforce. I also learned about how to forecast HR demand and supply using several techniques. And also I learned about internal labor supply and how do we way to estimate the internal labor supply. And also I learned about human resource planning that consider external and internal workforce factors to optimize human resource and forecasting. And also I learned about HR play important role in the future of the company because they plan anything from the present in order to achieve something in the future for my company. And then I also learned about HR planning can help the meet future workforce supply and demand in terms of employee. Okay, I think that's all for discussion for the summary of this chapter. Thank you for listening. See you on the next video.